We got the update on the Vitali thing. Apparently they showed pictures of what he looks like. I saw the picture. Man looks really skinny, I'm not gonna lie.
In just a few weeks, this scumbag IRL streamer went from daring the Filipino government to throw him in prison,
I will go to jail. I'm a proud man. I love jail.
mocking them while being arrested and detained, to now begging them to release him from prison. This might be one of the dumbest instances of destroying your own life for clout. Either way, he definitely did it in record time. Obviously, we're talking about Vitali.
Wait, marathon is delayed? Hold up. Hold up. Breaking news. Breaking news. Did they post it on Twitter? Oh. Wow, delay the September 23rd release. The alpha test created an opportunity for us to what? They delayed it. Holy shit. Well, that's a smart move in my personal opinion. Sorry, I had to do it like had to do a intermission here on the Vitali thing. Damn, that's crazy, man. It has been delayed, ladies and gentlemen. Marathon has been delayed. Well, it's about damn time, to be honest. It should have been delayed, to be honest. Because there was no way they're gonna make it their release window time for September 23rd. 1000%. Even then, at the end of the day, I'm not interested in this game. Might as well cancel it. I don't think they're gonna cancel it. They're still gonna release it, but they're just gonna delay it. Probably till next year. That's kind of like my good guess is next year.
Who's the Russian-American streamer who essentially speedran destroying his own life for some views on the streaming site kick.com. Because let's be real, any sane individual would never steal a security guard's motorcycle in the Philippines.
Of course.
But obviously, he didn't even leave it at that. He also stole a police officer's hat, taught them to do something about it. He stole an industrial fan. He stole an LED mask. He threatened to rob an elder lady. And then he harassed dozens of citizens while live streaming everything for the whole world to see. I mean, just doing that in the US, that is insane. But you have to be a special kind of moron to fly across the world.
I never had any interest in playing Marathon because I just don't like extraction shooters. I'm just not a fan of them.
To the Philippines and do it there. Brother, that's a PvP server. You are no longer in the land of bailing yourself out for $1,000 and getting a slap on the wrist. You are 100% in a F around and find out country.
True.
And I do realize, obviously, you can definitely find out here in the States, but you can definitely F around to a higher degree without finding out here, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But there's been some updates to the Vitali saga, including some interviews with his attorney and the secretary Romulo, the dude who perp walked him out in front of the entire country. And I feel like this goes without saying, but you are definitely in a really bad situation when, you know, they bring you out on national TV and say they're going to punish you to the full extent of law. That's not a good start. So obviously a lot has happened since I last talked about Vitali. Since then, I brought on a Filipino attorney to the channel.
Why do you think a lot of the kick streamers never go, like, who mess around with like Japan and Korea, never bother doing it in these other specific places, you know? It's literally like fuck around and find out, you know? It's kind of basically situation itself. Because to be honest, the Philippines kind of reminds me of like in some parts of like Mexico and then like some parts of El Salvador. Like that's what it reminds me of. Like when, because I looked at videos or so that like people walk around or so with like their cameras or so, right? Like recording the daily life of you know, the Filipino and everything. It just reminds me of like, I guess you could say kind of like the slums in like Mexico and like El Salvador. So that's why.
where he claimed that Vitali had no shot at being deported before his criminal trial. He also said that he would be held in a detention facility potentially until his trial is over.
From how I see it, the government is doing everything they can to detain him. Because if they will just stick with the criminal charges, he will just post bail, then he will be free. Yeah. In cases like this, the most common thing, or generally what governments usually do.
The same thing with like Mexico and El Salvador. It's only like certain parts, you know.
Just detain the undesirable alien for a couple of days, weeks probably, then they just deport him.
Yeah.
But here that's not the case. They want him to be held liable fully for the criminal charges, and then they're playing around with the deportation proceedings, I'm assuming now, to maximize the detention of him during the pendency of the cases.
So, what's going on currently? Well, apparently, Vitali is now a changed man. And honestly, a few weeks in this detention center will probably have you completely rethink your life. I'm pretty much going to make it my life's mission to never end up there. But unfortunately for Vitali, though, it seems like the Filipino government and people are not buying his new spiel whatsoever. But first, I want to talk about today's sponsor, Incogni, because if you've ever seen your personal
Wow, damn, that's crazy. Anyways.
More time doing that than a part-time job. And that's where you can save a whole bunch of time with Incogni, because as I mentioned with the Quest analogy, they manage all that for you or your family, as they've now had 651 data collectors.
Wow, that's pretty incredible, to be honest. Wow, oh man, this is a really long-ass sponsorship. Wow, anyways.
Let's continue the video. So recently, they did an interview that's mostly in English, but apparently it's Taglish with Vitali's attorney. And this is what they had to say. And it's safe to say...
I love that. I love it how he says it. Taglish.
Hey, he's having a terrible time.
All I mostly know is that the Philippines or so is Tagalog. Like, that's the only one that I know that it's like, that they use, that's how they use it or so. They just say Tagalog.
Over there.
When was the last time you saw him? How is he?
He is better now. I saw him just last week.
I assume Taglish is like a mixture of Tagalog and then English. I assume. I'm just taking a rough estimate if that's what it means.
Yeah. I think I saw him late last week. He's better now. I'm saying better because he was not really good before. He's in a very bad place, emotionally, psychologically. Of course, alam mo naman our
maybe because he wasn't on the substance that he was on, because like, to be honest, whatever he was on or so, he's like crazy. Like, this is like crazy shenanigans. Like, he was on something or so, you know. But now apparently he's better. He's in a more better state. Maybe because finally he gained sympathy at the age of 30. He finally gained sympathy. Wow, everybody's gaining sympathy at the age of 30, chat. Wow, that's crazy. Now, you know, it just took him a while, you know, but you know, I don't know what age he is. Maybe 40. He probably gained sympathy at the age of 40.
It's a detention facility in the Bureau of Immigration. But
I don't know.
Of course, it's still.
I'm just saying it because remember, iDub said I've gained sympathy.
Kind of a jail that
or empathy.
is
Empathy?
meant to
Sympathy?
somehow
I don't know. Whatever.
Punish detainees. So he was really not doing well before. Nang nag-visit ako one time, before he was able to say hi, he just started crying and couldn't stop crying. So, you know, as counsel, I'm not there as an emotional support.
Whoa, look at him. He's growing a... Wait, that's him right now? Whoa, he's growing a beard and everything. Damn. When he comes out, he's gonna have a full-on beard and everything. It's gonna be like a warlock or something, you know? Like he's been in the cave or so, studying the ways of the magic or so.
Pero of course, wala akong nagawa but just to cry with him, pray with him. He's now better because he found his space.
I am honestly shocked that it took him this long to realize the consequences of his own actions.
Took him long
Again,
enough.
he went to the Philippines to commit felonies for attention
This
on
is
the
the
internet.
first time
I
at
feel
the
like
end of the
anyone
day.
with some basic common sense knows they don't mess around there.
That's true.
Nagbabasa na siya ng Bible. I brought him for devotion, daily devotion, and he's doing better. And he's just hoping that when the time comes, may encourage an opportunity to ask for the forgiveness of the people he offended and also of the Filipino people. And talagang sising-sisi yung tao Liza. I didn't want to take the case because I was also very mad about what she did. But we are a Christian nation. We believe in forgiveness, and I hope na dumating tayo doon because this guy is really a changed guy, and she wants to seek forgiveness.
Opo.
Unfortunately for Vitali here, though, his largest hurdle is himself and his past. He's been arrested multiple times doing stupid stuff for content all around the world.
Jesus.
And been arrested for doing even worse stuff. Then, on top of that, he spent a whole day taunting the police and Filipino people, saying that nothing would ever happen to him, and if he actually went to jail, he would enjoy it. Then obviously, he live-streamed himself doing all the crimes, so he's really fighting an uphill battle here.
It was stated in the statement, attorney, about the letter that he sent to our officials, pleading that we drop the case.
The letter, I think they tried to send that. They sent that mother ni Vitali before I was their counsel. And nabasa ko naman siya. It's the focus naman, I just hope to clarify, the focus is not really about dropping the cases. It was about forgiveness. So hindi naman yun, mayroon namang legal aspect yung kaso. That's my job. Pero just a letter, it was more on a plea for forgiveness. So yung about the cases that are about to start, ang ano ko lang naman doon, the preparation is mainly for the prosecution because prosecution goes ahead of the defense. But I'm hoping...
Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised, like, if they do release him, right? If they release him, like, they gave forgiveness or so to him, right? And he decided to, fly somewhere else and do the same thing again. So, these people, like, the Filipino are not messing around or so. You have actions for your consequences, Your actions have consequences, so they're gonna give him the consequences that he needs. Hey, Brian.
Things to be able to show during the first few days of trial that everything that she did wrong was done in jest. Wala siyang criminal intent. It was tasteless jokes, pranks, yung violation kasi ng...
Okay, some of that was kind of hard to pick up, but I'm pretty sure what she just said was their entire stance is essentially, it was just a prank, bro. It's kind of depressing that it's all gone down like this for Vitali, that he's now in miserable conditions in the Philippines, but the dude made his own bed, and I'm worried that excuse will not fly there. The fact that he was, I guess, one of those people in 2015 who kind of like viralized, it was just a prank, bro, and now a decade later, it's almost like it's his legal defense in the Philippines, and he could be facing multiple years in prison there.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is all just a skill issue. This is just really poor life positioning here on Vitali's part.
Again, as to the criminal aspect, we hope that the court will see that criminal intent was not in his heart or in his mind during those times.
Okay, I mean, honestly, I believe he didn't have any criminal intent. I think he really is that dumb. You have to be a special kind of stupid to land yourself in this situation to begin with. Even when he was confronted by the Unlocking Philippines guy, he was essentially saying over and over again that he didn't believe he did anything wrong and nothing was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Yung trial nito, would it last a year for the hearing?
Well, it's we have continuous trials.
How long has he been in jail for now? I forgot. It's been a couple months, right?
So I think masyado every other week, but we hope to get faster trial dates. I hope it be done in 4 trial dates because in the information there are 4 witnesses who are also the complainants. Tatlo kasing cases yan.
So, I mean, no matter what, he's stuck in this detention center for a while. Johnny's been stuck in South Korea for like 7 months now, and he's only had 2 trial dates so far.
7 months?
From what I've heard, the Philippines court system is extremely backlogged, so this could easily be 1 to 2 years of trial procedures for Vitali here. What an absolute nightmare. This
1 to
whole
2
situation
years.
was just so avoidable on his part. Who in their right mind would do all of this for some attention on the internet.
Witnesses in the information which is scored, then there's a 1-day-1 witness rule. So that should be 4 charges.
So if it's 1 to 2 years, he'll basically be tried or so in 2027 or 2026, depending.
Trial date. You include arraignment and pre-trial, which is for 1 day. So that's 5 trial dates for the prosecution. I hope na matapos siya in a month or 2.
Okay, so obviously this interview is in Taglish. So there's areas I'm kind of skipping through that I absolutely do not understand, but she's hoping for the first court appearance to be in a month or 2. And the key word there is hoping. But they also interviewed Secretary Ramula, who was the guy who walked him in front of the whole country, and this is what he had to say.
Can you give us initial information regarding that, Secretary?
Well, in the series of videos naman that he had, it is more than 3 cases of unjust vexation. Meron pa siya yung mga motorsiklo, meron siyang inaras sa matanda, meron siyang hinalikan na sa security guard. So if you look at the sum total of what he posted, it is really more than 3. Lagpas talaga siya sa 3. So may parang naghahanda pa ang prosecution ng a couple of more cases para sa kanya.
I feel like I'm lagging when I'm listening to Taglish because I understand about like 50%. It's like I have like 1 bar cell service and some of the words are coming through and everything else is just not. But from what I understand here, they're looking at more charges or cases.
Jesus.
Which they can do because, you know, he live streamed everything. The dude, again, is his own star witness against himself. Congratulations, you absolutely played yourself.
They're just preparing additional cases, sir, to file.
After investigation ng prosecution, may marami pang lumabas na ibang witness. So, inaano nila, ini-examine nila yung merits ng case. They are about to file it, I think.
So yeah, he basically confirmed there that more cases are dropping. Again, why would you ever put yourself in this situation for internet attention? I get kick money was good, but it's definitely not enough to deal with all of this, especially if they charge him with stealing that motorcycle, which he live streamed himself doing, because unfortunately for him, that's an automatic 20-year prison sentence there. Essentially, his life is now in the hands of the prosecutor and judge over there.
Golly Lord, it's so hot over here.
They are malicious, and they are making a mockery of the law.
Jesus.
I mean, at this point, he made his bed. He even steamed it. There's not a crease in that comforter with how well Vitali has made it. And now, I guess he just kind of has to sleep in it and figure out what the repercussions will really be. So it's safe to say it's not looking too good for Vitali. Just like...
Damn, how long is it gonna be or so? Here, let's see if we can find the picture.
It's not
so
looking
the
too
Vitali
good for
one.
data collectors either with Incognito in town. So check out incognito.com/Atozy to start taking your personal information off the internet ASAP.
Here, let me see. Let's see if we find. Let me look up the picture real quick. Whoa, dude. Look at him, man. Look at the difference, man. His face looks a lot more slimmer, too. He's not as big either. His arms aren't big either. They're smaller now. Did he? Well, he does. He always has a big forehead at the end of the day. Yeah, he's in detention right now. He's being held at detention. So he's been there for quite a while or so. Wow, that's crazy to see the before and after pictures, though. This is before, when he was messing around, thinking that he's gonna get away and everything. And this is him realizing, damn, I fucked up. You can see the faces, too, as well. Like, the difference in the face. That's crazy. Yeah, he ain't lifting no weights or anything like that. Yeah, he lost a lot of his muscles. That's crazy. That's a crazy like difference to see. Like, look how big his his arms are, and then look how big they are here. Man, that's a wild one to see. But yeah. Anyways, That's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Like, honestly, it's not surprising whatsoever that he's finally facing the consequences of his own actions, you know? It's about time. I'm like, if you want to mess around, you know, you want to fuck around and everything like that, you're about to find out in a second, you know? He's looking like a Filipino now. Hey man, it sucks to suck. That's all I gotta say. It sucks to suck. Oh well. You reap what you sow, I guess. Oh well, that's the end of the video. Like I said, don't be doing stuff like this. Don't be doing stuff like with this guy, or else you're just gonna end up like this, and then you're just gonna feel miserable for the rest of your life. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.